Hi everyone. Good evening. How are you doing? Hello. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, just say hi. You can hear me. Hello. All right, just waiting for a few more people to join. Please confirm that you can hear me loud and clear and that my AirPods are properly connected. Yeah? Awesome. Welcome. Hello, and good evening. How's your week going? Hope well. Yeah, great. So today we are talking about parental FOMO, not FOMO. Parental FOMO. You might have heard about it before. Maybe you haven't, but we're going to delve into it. So welcome to this edition of Tech Thursdays. Okay? Tech Thursday is for parents and is with myself, Yeti Williams. And I'm the parenting coach, founder, and CEO of LagosMums, which is all about raising children and adults. Because I always say we're not raising children, we're raising adults. We're raising adults who are going to be successful, independent, are able to take care of themselves, are great additions to the world, understand their place in the world, are able to use technology the right way. There is so much that goes into raising children in today's day and age. And I don't want parents to feel overwhelmed because it's very easy to get overwhelmed, especially because we are a unique breed. Parents today are unique. We're probably the first and last set of parents today who are parenting with one leg in the analog world and one leg in the digital world. Who's on that table? If you're on that table, just say, that is me. What does that mean? The analog world, we grew up before internet, we grew up before social media, and here we are where we're raising children who are fully digital, fully in the digital world, and we're supposed to raise them in a technological world where we don't fully have all the answers. So those are one of the big reasons why I find that there's a lot of challenges and a lot of tension with raising children today. We are raising digital natives and we don't always know how to go about it. We have questions. We're not quite sure what the right mix of parenting, online, offline, screen time, what parenting style should we exhibit. There's so many things happening. So today we're talking about, a new topic, which is, are you guilty of having parental FOMO? Now, let me first explain what FOMO stands for. For anybody who hasn't heard what FOMO stands for, FOMO stands for, first of all, does anybody want to guess what FOMO stands for? Have you heard about it? Do you suffer it yourself? Do you know what FOMO is? Does anybody know what FOMO is before I explain and break down the acronym FOMO, FOMO? Anyone? Okay. Because of time, let's get going. FOMO stands for fear of missing out. Yes, fear of missing out. And fear of missing out is actually really prevalent today because all of us are living in a digital world. All of us are comparing ourselves to somebody else. And so it's very easy to suffer fear of missing out. It just means you look at other people's life and they seem to be living this fantastic life that you are not living. They seem to be having everything else going for them. You are comparing yourself to other people online and you start to feel a little bit like there's something missing in your life. That's what FOMO stands for in summary. And because of the social media age that we're in, it's very easy to compare yourself to everybody else. Right? Before, it was television or a reality star or a celebrity that you would maybe be looking at and thinking their lives are so glamorous. But today, your neighbor, your cousin, your old friend, your ex, anybody can show their virtual life, and it's very easy to start to compare yourself without even realizing it. It is even more important to realize what FOMO means and how it affects our mental health because our children are being raised in a world where they are going through this themselves. So just cast your mind back to when you were a child. Imagine if your life was being lived and being judged by everybody else online. So every time you share a picture, you are judging whether or not people like you based on how many likes you get, right? Or every time you make a comment, somebody is trolling you and saying something mean. So everybody is living in the online glare, in the online world, and it can be very tasking for adults, talk less of children. All right, so we've broken down what FOMO means. We've broken down that almost everybody actually suffers FOMO in some form or the other. What makes it worse and makes it more prevalent today is that FOMO doesn't stop. It is 24/7. It's every picture somebody posts online. It's every time something pops up on your notification or your For You page, and you're constantly being told about how other people live their lives. So the question now is, how does this affect us when we talk about parenting or parental FOMO? It just means that a lot of parents who are not intentional are actually living from outside in and not inside out. So let me say that again. Parental FOMO means parents who feel they're missing out, fear of missing out, but it's from a place of their parenting. So they look at their children and they try to live a life for others through their children. So that's the definition of parental FOMO. Living your life for others through your children. And it can happen so easily, right? So this Tech Thursdays we're constantly talking about the influence of technology on people and on parenting. So when you're looking at parental FOMO, we're saying that parents can actually be making decisions not based on what's best for them, not based on what's best for their children or their family, but actually being reactive and making decisions based on what other people are sharing online, what other people are saying, what other people are doing. And because we're in a world where social media plays such a big part in our lives, if you're not careful, you start to make decisions based on what other people might say or do. So that's the basics of it. And it's really, really happening. It's on the increase, and a lot of parents are not even aware of it. So let's talk about some of the scenarios that happen, some of the things that you could be doing that could make you think, am I actually guilty of having parental FOMO? So first of all, are you that parent who you are always sharing everything online? Everything your child does, you share online. And sometimes you're doing that not just because you want to share with your friends and family, because if you really wanted to do that, you could do it with a closed or private page. But you know those people who share every single thing about their child online, that the one they should share, and the ones that are pretty private and you shouldn't share, but you're sharing everything online because you want everyone to see that you're such a great parent, or that you're doing such a great job, or how fantastic your children are. So you're constantly sharing every single thing. Your child sneezes, you share it. Your child is having a bath, you share it. Your child is in their diaper running around, you share it. That is way too much. So parental FOMO sometimes pushes parents to overshare. They share so much about their child's life that they are dropping breadcrumbs about their child from every single moment. When the child poos, when the child eats, food that they don't like, every single thing is online. And the truth is, those parents are not thinking long term. Imagine when Bode or Lara or, Chizoba grows up and they go online and they search and put their names in and they see everything from when they were 3 months old until when they are maybe 21. Well, maybe by 21, they've taken over their social media life, right? But imagine they see everything from when they were babies to when they were old enough to get on social media. And you shared everything online because you wanted to show that your children were so fantastic. That child isn't going to be very happy because that child might want to apply for, a CEO role or, run for House of Reps or whatever. And it's one picture of them in their diaper or naked in bath time that is going to pop up when they are doing the flyers for your child to get into office. So let's think twice about sharing And one of the things that you can start to apply today is to ask yourself, why are you sharing? That singular ability to pause and ask, why am I sharing this? Why am I posting this online? Is it really to show my love? Is it really to celebrate my child? Or maybe is it to show off that my child is so perfect? You need to ask yourself why you're sharing. And this is universal. Parents, children, anybody, adults. When you pause before you post, hey, that rhymes, right? When you pause before you post, it reduces the amount or the number of things you post or could post that are inappropriate. Okay? So that's one example of parental FOMO. Sharing everything, you end up oversharing. The second one I want to talk about is the parents that make decisions based on what other people are doing. So you go online and you see that somebody has told you that their child goes to this particular school or their child is doing this particular activity, right? And then because of that, you just drive to that school tomorrow and you enroll your child in the school just because you're comparing yourself to somebody else and because you think their child is in a particular school that you should also be in. You know, this is what they call the living for the Joneses. Forget whether the Joneses are broke or not, or why the Joneses are doing what they're doing. But you know that concept, keeping up with the Joneses rather. So you make decisions based on what other people are doing. Somebody tells you their child is in this school, is the best school for them, and just because of that, you drive to the school. You don't make any inquiries at all, but you imagine that school is just better because XYZ person is going there. You haven't done your homework, you haven't done your due diligence, you haven't asked whether or not that school is actually able to raise a child for the 21st century, but you just sign your child up and enroll them in that school because somebody else who you are measuring yourself by is going to that school or has chosen that school for the child. That fear of missing out, that idea of, oh my God, if they are all going to this school, it must be good. And then you forget that you need to do your own homework, you need to do your own research to determine if that school is right for your child. And many times when I talk to parents and I'm doing, a lot of the coaching and just helping parents have a 10-year plan, I think it's so important to try and have a 10-year plan for each and every child that is unique to him or her. Where is your child headed? Where do you see your child in 10 years? So I ask all of you right now who are here, who are listening now and who will watch the replay, do that exercise. List every single child. What is his or her name? How old is your child? If the child is a baby today and not even one, in 10 years time, guess what? That child will be how old? 10 years old. Where do you see that child at 10? Do it for every child. Maybe you have a 5-year-old now. In 10 years time, that child is who? Is 15. Where do you see that child? Maybe your child now is 10. Do it again. That child in 10 years is 20. That is an adult. So it's important that we have this vision as parents. Where are we headed? Where do we believe that these children should go? How do we train them in the way that they should go based on their gifts, their talents, based on their perspectives, their characteristics, their natural desires. Every parent is born the day a child is born. So we have to try and take our time to actually understand our children and where we want them to go as parents and as families. Because when you have that plan, guess what? It's less likely for you to react. It's less likely for you to make decisions based on what other people think or what other people are doing. You will be much clearer on where you are headed with your children, each and every one of them in their unique giftings and talents and interests, so that the decisions you are making are based on them and not based on what anybody else is saying or doing. So back to the choice of schools, it's really important that that's one area you can't afford to have parental FOMO, where you choose a school based on what people say is good and you haven't spent any time doing your own research to figure out if that school is right for your child and if that school is going to take your child where you want him or her to go. Okay, so we've talked about it. I'm just throwing out some examples that are going to make us pause and think about what it means to have parental FOMO. And you might have it in an area or the other that you've never thought about. You have to think about the decisions we're making. Is it coming from internally? Is it because it's the best for our child? Or is it just because somebody says so and somebody else is doing it? Now, I want to address something that comes up when we're discussing this. Some people are going to ask me, so are you saying we should never take feedback from other people? Are you saying we should never hear from what other people are doing and learn from it? That's definitely not what I'm saying. I've definitely taken advice from people I look up to, and I've asked them different things they've done in terms of raising their children, especially when you see children who are doing really well and are well-rounded and have all the characteristics or a lot of the characteristics that you are looking for. But the only way you can know if these are things you value in your children is if you've done some exercise to say, you know what, when Bode grows up, I want Bode to be this. And then you can start to walk in that direction. So you definitely want to take feedback. You want to check out what other people are doing, yes. Not everybody. You want to make sure that it's people that you can trust, that they've done some kind of due diligence for themselves. So there's a difference between taking guidance from other people and just doing things and reacting because you think that's what you should be doing. So there's a huge difference. Let's use the school example. You're looking for a school. You want to talk to parents. I have an article on the website that talks about some of the questions you should ask when you're considering a school for your child. From the very youngest age, questions you should ask the school, questions you should ask other parents, questions you should ask the children that go to that school, questions you should ask people that have actually graduated from the school. You want to paint a picture, and it's important to get feedback from different people. But getting feedback, doing research, to put it all together to make your own best informed decision is very different from choosing a popular school because so-and-so's child is going there or so-and-so's children go there, which means that it must be a very XYZ school. You can fill in the blank, right? So that's what I would say in terms of how do you balance between choosing a school because it is right for your child and your family, and or choosing a school because some people go there and because they go there you just make those decisions. Okay, now I want to talk about one other extreme end of parental FOMO, and that's where parents who sometimes end up being envious of their children. You might think, how is that even possible? But it is. I've actually seen it, where parents become envious of their children because they are living their own lives through the children's lives. Maybe they have some particular desires they had that they couldn't live up to, some things they wanted to do that they couldn't do as a parent. So parents have children sometimes and they see them as their mini-me. You know when people say mini-me, I actually don't like that phrase. Nobody is mini-me. We get where it's coming from. Maybe your little daughter that you like to dress together or looks like you, or a son that's junior to dad. But that idea and concept of mini-me makes you see that child as your shadow and makes the child start to see themselves as, a replica of you. But that's not actually healthy. Nobody's a replica of you. Everybody's an individual. And what I'm talking about when we say envious parents is a parent who feels that, maybe they've made decisions based on what other people think, or they've made decisions based on what they think the child should want, or they've made all kinds of decisions not because they've been intentional about it. Then maybe the child grows up and the child is then living his or her life in the way he or she wants, and the parent then feels like, all these things I did for you, it's as if you're not appreciating me. It gets to a point where a lot of tension can form, and then you have parents who feel that the child has their whole life ahead of them, but they sacrificed everything for this child, and then the child doesn't seem to even appreciate all their sacrifice. It's very sad when a parent has done such hard work to raise a child, that child becomes an adult, and because the parenting style did not change to fit that child, or the parent starts to put all kind of pressure on this adult that they have raised, and the pressure comes from, maybe we all know, right, When are you getting married? All your mates are getting married. You must get married now so that they won't say that I didn't raise you well. Some of those things put all kinds of pressure on relationships with adult children, and I have seen it break families. And you can avoid that by ensuring that you let your child, your adults, make their own decisions. Okay, so I've said a lot. I've introduced the concept of parental FOMO. For those who have just joined, I've seen people join at different times. You can certainly watch the replay. I'll share it on the page. But essentially, FOMO stands for fear of missing out. Everybody suffers it in some shape or form. Social media and being online has made it like it's turbocharged, it's on steroids. Everybody can compare themselves to everybody else. And sometimes without knowing it, we start to be affected and we start to make decisions based on what other people are doing or sharing online. So when it comes to parenting, how it plays in is when you start to make decisions externally led, not internally led. Right? You start to make decisions because of what you want to share, what you want to show online, what you think you should be doing based on what everybody else around you is doing. And you are not really going from a place of internally assessing, what do I want as a mother? What do I want as a father? What's important to us as a family? Who is the adult that we are raising? For those who've watched this before, you know that I say we're not raising children, we're raising adults. So if you're raising an adult, you need to go ahead, take a trip into the future on behalf of your child, on behalf of your adult, and say, who am I raising? Who do I want this man or woman to be in the future? And then you can start to walk backwards. And that then informs everything you do, the choice of school, the choice of caregivers, the choice of screen time or no screen time. Every single thing you do starts to be formed from this picture of the adults that you are raising. So if anyone has any questions at all in the last few minutes, please share it in the comment, in the Q&A question box, so that I can answer a few questions. Tech Thursdays is 30 minutes every Thursday, as much as possible. And we'll talk about something that's trending, that's relevant, that just helps us to stay on top of being a parent in today's day and age. Because raising children in today's day and age is a lot of work. There's a lot of external influence, there's a lot of pressure, and there's a big increase on challenges on mental health. So because of all of the things going on, the pandemic, the lockdown, everything, so much has happened, but parents don't get a day off. We don't get a day off. It's 24/7. So let me see if we have any questions at all. Any questions, any comments? Let me scroll back up and see if there's anything I might have missed. Alliteration, okay, just in comments here. Thanks for all the waves, and awesome. So just to rehash, you can watch this replay and bring your friends. If you have a topic you would like me to cover, I would love for you to DM me at LagosMums. If you DM me at LagosMums, myself and somebody from the team will pick it up and we'll be sure to answer your questions. Or we'll be sure to research. So even if I don't have the answers, I will research for you and get you answers to your questions. All right? So we'll make it a date every Thursday. All right. So do we have any questions or comments at all? Parental FOMO. Remember the takeaway: pause before you post. If you pause before you post and you ask yourself, why am I sharing? Who is this for? Should I be sharing this? How is it going to affect my child in the future? It might stop you from posting something you shouldn't. All right, so someone here is asking, you are not a parent yet, but how do you prepare to become one? The best thing, honestly, is to be in touch with yourself. I find that many people become parents because they got, they were able to get pregnant or, and they had a baby. Not everybody necessarily understands what it takes to be an effective parent. And there's no crash course, there's no copy and paste. We all have to learn parenting on the job. That's the one thing that you have to learn by doing. But what you can do to prepare ahead of time is to make sure that you have mastery of who you are. You know who you are, you know your interests, you know what makes you tick, you know how to live your best life, and you go after being your best self, doing the things that matter to you. When you're a whole individual, you're a whole person, then you can be a whole parent. You can't give what you don't have. So a lot of people are actually parenting from a place of lack, or they had things from their childhood that wasn't fully realized, or they have hurts as well that they're carrying around. So if there's somebody who has all this emotional baggage and they just get married and have children, guess what happens? You just pass it on to your child or children. So one of the best things you can do, and I love that you asked that question, one of the best things you can do is to make sure that you are fully in tune with who you are. You're living a healthy life from inside out, from top to bottom, so that when you know who you are and you're fully secure in who you are, then when you get married and have children, you are going to be your best as a parent. But the truth is, there are too many people who are unprepared as an individual themselves first, and then they go and carry on the additional demands of marriage, motherhood, fatherhood, and life. And it's usually not a very pretty picture. And then the children suffer when they shouldn't have to. So I hope that answers your question. Hello, Ronke Posh. Thanks for joining. All right, do we have any more questions or comments as we get ready to wrap up? Let me see if there's anything else here. I hope you enjoy this. I always get a lot of feedback from people who've been watching this Tech Thursdays. It's just a quick way to chat and let's stay on the ball. This parenting business keeps evolving, but we will win. And the winning comes from knowing what's going on, having conversations, and staying relevant. Oh, I'm glad, Mystical Rose Apparel, that answer was helpful to you. Please make sure you get in touch if you have any questions. When people show up on parenting conversations before they're parents, I have to say I give you a high five? I'm giving you a clap, because being intentional parents starts from knowing that you want to be intentional and doing the work before you actually even become a parent if you can. So fantastic one that you're actually here and you're thinking about it before you've become a parent. Okay, awesome. All right, countdown to 7:30. Thanks for tuning in. As always, you can reach me at LagosMums on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Follow us, tune in, and we will be having conversations about parenting in different facets throughout, all day, every day. And of course, our website, LagosMums.com, that's our headquarters. We have articles on everything. Well, maybe not everything, but we have a lot of information for you on everything that has to do with parenting, motherhood, work-life balance. Is all there. So you want to make sure you check it out. And if you haven't subscribed to our newsletter, make sure you do so that you can get information about all the different things that we do. I have a fantastic team, and we just make sure that your parenting, you will win. You will do a great job, and your children and the adults you're raising will look back and say, my parents did the best that they could. All right. So with that, thank you for tuning in today. Have a fantastic rest of the week. Have a fantastic weekend ahead. And I hope you connect, and I hope to see you here again next Thursday, same time, 7 p.m. West African time at Lagos Mums. Make sure to follow us and tune in and invite another parent. All right. Take care. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye. Thanks for joining. Bye, everyone.